Kurt Cobain in his prime was a writing machine, always coming up with new song ideas. He was prolific in the early days of Nirvana up until the Nevermind era. By the time In Utero came around, it seemed like he was potentially running out of steam due to his addiction, but still, he wrote so many amazing songs with Nirvana that were never properly recorded nor released. Many throwaway cuts never fully fleshed out or completed. Most of these are found on the With the Lights Out box set. You've got Opinion, Token Eastern Song, Do Re Mi, Verse Chorus Verse, Old Age, and notably, Talk to Me. If there's any one song Nirvana wrote that could have become a hit but didn't, it's this one for sure. Talk to Me was never brought to the studio. Or was it? We'll get to that later. The only versions of the song that exist are the few times the band played it live. There is a rumor that practice versions of the song exist in the Nirvana vault, but again, nothing has been released or confirmed, and it will likely remain that way until the end of time. Nonetheless, Talk to Me has some rich history behind it. So let's talk about that and the song itself. Talk to Me came to life in the Nevermind era. Its live debut was in November 1991 while Nirvana were on tour in Italy. Over the next 12 months, the band played the song a handful of times. The most notable performance took place at the Crocodile Cafe in Seattle in late '92. But following this gig, Talk to Me was retired from the band's setlist. It wasn't played in 1993 or 1994 and had essentially been left behind. I wonder what the reason behind this was. I get the feeling Kurt was testing out the song live to gauge the audience's reaction. Maybe he wasn't happy with the results, so he dropped it, or it's also possible he just didn't like it himself. Watching the footage of the band performing it live, the energy seemed explosive. Kurt was very hard on himself as an artist. Since Talk to Me is pretty much your standard rocker, he was likely shooting for something a bit deeper. Or maybe he was saving it for Nirvana's fourth album. We'll sadly never know. An interesting fact about Talk to Me is that in 1993, Courtney Love and her band Hole recorded their own version of the song. This was early on in the Live Through This sessions, and ultimately it was left incomplete and didn't go anywhere. I'm kind of glad because it was Kurt's material and it was meant for Nirvana. Later on, Courtney offered the song to Iggy Pop, who was a longtime hero of Kurt, but fortunately he turned this down. In 2002, Iggy commented on this saying, "I do my own music and I like Kurt's music, but I have no interest in doing Kurt's music." Now I have to mention a YouTube video regarding Talk to Me that popped up in 2023. It contains audio of Kurt supposedly recording the song in the studio in 1994. It sounds like it could be real, and it was uploaded by Frederick Cobain. Either it's an elaborate AI fake or a piece of music history. If Talk to Me was in fact recorded toward the end, it was definitely going to be on Nirvana's next album. I doubt we'll ever get confirmation the contents of this video are legit, but it's still very interesting. Now let's talk about the song itself. Talk to Me is an anthemic and catchy as hell track that 100% would have tore up the charts. Even though we only have relatively low quality live versions, you can still tell just how much potential this song had. In terms of sound and structure, it follows the typical verse-chorus-verse format like most Nirvana songs. It features simple power chords, but the main riff is incredibly infectious. It also contains a killer solo, which greatly varied each time it was played. Lyrically, there's not much to note since it's hard to decipher what Kurt is saying, but that doesn't really matter as long as the music rips, which it does. I truly believe if Talk to Me had a chance, it could have been the next Smells Like Teen Spirit. The chorus will undoubtedly get stuck in your head for days, and there's a raw energy that really brings it to life. More than anything, it showcases exactly what Nirvana did best, combining their pop sensibilities with punk rock and making for a really fun song. I can only imagine what a proper studio version would have sounded like. Ultimately, there's not too much to say about the song itself. It's simple but well executed and definitely would have been a hit. I could see it fitting perfectly amongst bands like Weezer and Green Day. It's a real shame this didn't happen, but it's fun to imagine what could have been. And if that video of Kurt singing the song in the studio is real, maybe the full version will be released one day if it exists. I doubt it does, but you never know. Anyway, this was the story of Talk to Me, an obscure Nirvana song that had so much potential. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.